Hello everyone and welcome to another video. I decided to make a video about how I study Japanese and I figured it might be able to help out some people, maybe not, I don't really know. My method is a little bit messy in lack of a better word, and yeah, it's basically just based on the things that I like doing and also on eliminating or minimizing the things that I don't like doing. So I guess without any further ado, let me try to explain how my method is set up. So when I developed my method, I kind of first did a self-assessment with regards to like what I like to do when I study and what I don't like to do. And one thing I don't like to do is writing notes. I think it's just, I don't like it, so I don't want to do it. So I decided to forego that step of the study progress. So that means that I'm focusing more on kind of auditory, spoken kind of language learning. And yeah, so let me first tell you the steps of my sort of what I go through every day. I just started studying Japanese again recently, like I think last week. So my method and my this whole study process is still a work in progress. But this is what I've got for now. So the method goes as follows. You answer questions, you review the questions, you might do a voice recording if you feel like it, then you redo the questions and then track your progress. And that's basically it. So the questions that I'm talking about are from a book. I'll put a picture on the screen, but it's called Shin Nihongo 500 and it's for JLPT level 2. I think they have them for all levels, so just pick one that corresponds to your level. And it's divided into sections, so each day you do 15 questions. On each page there are 3 questions, so you can do 3 questions at a time, which is what I do in order to not get overwhelmed and forget what I'm doing. So I'll do 3 questions. That is step number 1 of my process, right? Answer the questions and then I'll check the answers on the following page, and then I will review the questions or the answers according to the explanations in the textbook. And if there's something I don't understand in the explanation, then I'll look it up on either online or on the one of the dictionaries for the phone, just to better understand what's going on. Then I will read the sentence aloud in Japanese a few times to familiarize myself with how it sounds, and also to increase my speed when it comes to spoken Japanese and just get my mouth sort of used to speaking another language, like the muscle memory. I don't know if muscle memory goes for the mouth as well, but either way, that's what it is. And of course, I'll also look at the English explanation in order to make sure that I understand the sentence. That kind of goes without saying, but now I just said it anyway. And then this is an important key point for my process here. I pick out the sentences that I think are relevant to me personally. For each 3 questions, if I don't think the questions or the sentences that the questions are based around are relevant to me, if it's not something that I'll ever say or use, I'll just skip it, because I don't want to waste time on things that aren't directly applicable to my situation, and I'd rather spend my time on points that are actually useful for me here and now. I can always go back, which I will also do. So the way I sort of indicate whether or not a sentence is relevant to me, I just base it on personal opinion or personal interest, whatever. And I'll make a little star if I think it's relevant. And if I think it's kind of useful, but not right now, I'll go back and revisit this sentence. I'll make 2 stars to sort of indicate, okay, if you do another review of this grammar or whatever, then this sentence is good for the second round. I assume that the second time I go through it, I'll already have understood, memorized, and learned the ones that got the initial star that I marked as important, so I'm ready for learning something new. But I don't want to overburden myself with just learning a million things at once, because then I just don't remember anything. Anyway, after I've done that, this is another key point. After I picked out the sentences that I think are relevant for me, keep in mind here that I do it 3 questions at a time, because if I lose interest, then at least I will have done 3 questions instead of being like half finished somewhere in the middle of doing 15 questions. So I do it 3 questions at a time. What I do next is then I dictate the English version in one file. I have like Apple Docs or whatever it's called, Apple Notes on the phone. Yeah, I dictate the English version in one file, so I just read the English translation aloud. I'm too lazy to type, but you could just type it up. You don't have to dictate it. And then I dictate the Japanese version in another file so I can sort of cross-reference between the two. And one thing that's really satisfying is if the AI in the phone is able to get your Japanese the first time you like read it aloud or you speak it. If it gets it perfectly correct, it means that your pronunciation is at least good enough for the AI to understand what you're saying, which means that people, real human beings, will probably also be able to understand it. Hopefully, maybe. So that's kind of like a good success feeling when the AI gets it right in the first go. The reason why I dictated, even though I said I didn't want to do notes or write things down, is sometimes I want to be able to look at the sentences and see if I can remember how to say this in Japanese. And having it in my phone is a good way to have it on hand at all times. So yeah. Also, I might do a voice recording. This is very optional. I don't always do it, but if I do a voice recording, I'll read the English sentence and then I'll leave a 5 to 6 second gap, and then I'll read the Japanese sentence. So the point, or like the sort of idea behind this, is that you listen to the English one and then try to translate it, and then you confirm with the Japanese following the break to see whether or not you actually got it correct. But it's kind of a lot of effort, so I don't really do it. And then after I've gone through all of this, I should have familiarized myself with the sentences enough that I can now do them without, making mistakes. So I go through the 3 questions once again, try to answer, and then once I've done that, I'll note down my results. I have like a little tracker, like a progress tracker, which also helps keep me sort of in check with regards to whether or not I've actually finished the questions for the day. So if I stop after like 9 questions on day 1, for instance, then I still have 6 questions left for that day, and then I can decide the next day whether or not I want to continue or whether I'm just going to skip the rest of day 1 and then go back to it later. Like, my method is very kind of lazy and laissez-faire because I can't really stick to anything, so I figured I would make it as easily approachable for myself as possible. And the point is just to learn stuff, so however I go about it should be okay, I guess. And yeah. Once I've done that, once I've noted down my progress, or like whether or not how many answers I got right, I will just move on to the next 3 questions and do it all over once again. And that's that. I don't practice writing things by hand or anything like that. Sometimes if there's a kanji that I feel is like I want to cement it better into my memory, I might write it down like over and over a few times just on like a scrap piece of paper. But yeah, I don't really do that. That's it. Oh, right. Okay. So this was step 1 of my like practice method, right? So I thought, okay, how can I force myself? This is not related to my method, by the way, but I'm just going to include it in this video because why not? So I thought to myself a few days ago, like, how can I force myself to use Japanese more when I don't actually need to use it on a daily basis? So I thought Twitter and speaking, right? So what I've decided is I'm going to post 1 tweet per day in Japanese. At first I was like, oh, maybe I'll do 5, but let's be real here, that's never going to happen. So let's set the bar as low as possible at 1 tweet per day. So far I've been able to keep it up for 2 days, so congratulations to me. And also I'm going to dub some of my videos in Japanese because that way I can practice speaking. And yeah. So what I've decided so far is videos below 3 minutes, I'll dub them in Japanese as well. videos that are longer than 3 minutes, but less than like 6 or 7 minutes. So between like three minutes and 7-ish minutes is like up to my own discretion whether or not I can be bothered. And videos that are longer than 7 minutes, chances are I'm not gonna dub them in Japanese because it's a lot of effort, and I'm kind of just a low effort type of person, but if I feel like it, I'll do it. So that is up to my own discretion. Anyway, that's my method. That is it for this time. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave it down below. Otherwise, have a great day and don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye!